Morning, Mr. Harper. Today we are watching the Duffy Trial as well, so of course we want to ask you about that. When Mr. Wright outlined in broad terms the agreement with Duffy, why did you not ask who is paying the money back? And then also, he's now in the court showing that he was angry with Mr. Duffy for charging per diems for living in Canada. He seemed to take up a lot of political capital in the Prime Minister's office. Why would you allow that to happen as well?
Well, let me be very clear, and I've said this before. Mr. Duffy came to me, and I said to him that his expenses, in my judgment, could not be justified. You could not justify claiming expenses you did not actually incur, regardless of what the rules were. That just can't be justified. I felt he should pay them back. Mr. Wright obviously was speaking to Mr. Duffy and indicated to me that Mr. Duffy would repay those expenses, which is exactly what Mr. Duffy told the Canadian public on national television.
Continue with Jordan Press from the Canadian Press.
Good morning, Mr. Harper. Just to follow up with what Hannah had just asked. So the court this morning in Ottawa heard at great lengths about the lengths that your staff in the Prime Minister's office went to sweep Mr. Duffy's expenses under the rug, to pull him from the independent audit that the Senate had ordered, to have the party repay some of his funds, and even to develop an entire media strategy around it. And the other day you had said, obviously, as leader, nothing is ever going to go perfectly well. But given all that we've heard this morning in public testimony, what do you think this says about the culture in your office, and how much do you feel that you had a role in creating that culture?
Let me be very clear once again, and I said so publicly. I did not believe Mr. Duffy's expenses could be justified, and I thought he should repay them. And Mr. Wright was working with Mr. Duffy to make sure he did repay them, and that's what we were told was going to happen. When I found out that is not what happened, that in fact they'd been repaid by somebody else, we made that information public, and I took the appropriate action against people who were involved in that.